Hello everyone, I am Deborah. Before we get into today's topic, I just want to remind you about something that I am so super excited to share with you. So over the next several weeks, I am going to be taking you along for my mid-year mind-body reset. We all know, you guys, life be lifing sometimes, and sometimes we just need to pause, take a step back, evaluate, assess what is going on, and just give ourselves grace and do something different, which is exactly where I am right now. A lot of times we do that at the beginning of the year where we resolve to do things differently, whether it's our diet, our exercise, our peace, whatever it is. We typically do it at the beginning of the year, but sometimes, again, life can start to unravel on us and we need to reset throughout the year. So that's why I decided that right now, because of everything that's going on in my life, is the perfect time to do this mid-year reset. And my goal is to lose 10 pounds. Now, I am not talking about crash dieting. I am not talking about any extreme exercises. What I'm talking about is focusing in on what truly matters, and that is nourishing my body with the foods that it needs right now in this phase of my life, doing the exercises right now that my body actually needs, which is the strength training to improve my muscle and maintain my muscle mass, doing the low impact cardio so I can continue to support and boost my metabolism, my heart health, my circulation, giving myself rest, because that is a major thing that I know that I am not doing right now. So I really need to zone in on that, giving my body the rest that it actually needs so that I can function properly throughout the day, and also making sure that my body is operating at its maximum capacity. And then last of all, you guys, getting rid of that stress. So if this sounds like something that you need right about now as well in your life, you guys, I invite you to join along with me, because you know what I always say, it's always better together. I am going to be sharing with you my meals, my workouts, my progress, and some healthy habits that will create long-lasting change, because this is not about a quick fix. This is all about sustainability. And today's topic is an important part of this journey. I mean, super important part of this journey, and that is our food. Although a lot of times we were under the misconception that it was all about exercise. I know throughout the years growing up, through my teens years, 30s, 40s, 50s, I always thought it was about the exercise and forgoing the importance of the foods that we eat. You guys, it's all about the food, okay, that we consume to really fuel and energize and sustain our bodies. So today I am going to share with you the foods that I feel that we need to keep in our homes to do those things that I just said, so that we can continue to move forward to make this chapter of our lives the best chapter of our lives. So you guys, without further ado, the foods that I feel are the must-haves. Now that I'm in my 60s, there are a few things that I definitely pay closer attention to in order to look and feel my best. And one of those things, you guys, is my diet. You already know, if you have reached 40 plus years of age, your body is not the same. You wake up and you are in this different body that just does not function the way that it used to. The foods that we eat and the way we move our bodies, okay, the way we used to just don't work anymore. So we've got to zone in on those things and give our bodies what it is asking for. Don't overcomplicate it. I know it can be very overwhelming, but once you understand and know the things that you're supposed to do, okay, it definitely makes things a lot easier. So I'm going to share with you today the things that I keep in my kitchen. You know, you guys, we're going to raid my kitchen so that we can understand what it is that we need to focus on as it pertains to our diet, to help us maintain a healthy weight, to help us keep that fat at bay, to help us retain our muscle mass, and to help us keep energized. Before we get into our first category, let me just tell you about two things that we need to steer clear of, and those being processed foods and sugars. Processed foods is a food that is no longer in its natural state. All right. It's just that simple. You hear processed foods and it's like, okay, what exactly do people mean by that? By definition, that is exactly what it is. We want to steer towards whole foods. Okay. Things that are still in their natural state. So processed foods, X. Eliminate that from your diet. And then, of course, the other things are sugars, you guys. And you have to really pay attention to the labels when it comes to your foods, because a lot of things, especially, okay, if they are, like frozen or canned, they might actually have sugars in them for preservatives and for flavor. So definitely take a look at the labels of your cans and also the things that you have, okay, in the refrigerator section that are bagged or frozen, because they may in fact have the sugars in them, and you need to steer clear of those things as well. All right, the first category of foods that we need to incorporate all the time into our diet is protein. You guys, protein is structural. It is in our hair, our skin, it's in our tissues, it's in our nails, it's in our muscles. And another thing about protein is that there are some amino acids, okay, which are used to actually build protein that our bodies don't produce. It comes from the foods that we eat, which makes protein even more important. All right. So the things that you can eat, very simple. It's not overly complicated, but the thing that you want to keep in mind is to eat clean sources of protein and keep it on the leaner side. Things such as your eggs. And then I've got some turkey sausage. I've got some ground turkey. I've got chicken breast. I've got some ground beef. All right. When it comes to my canned things, I've got some chunk chicken. I've got some peaked salmon, sardines, beans, okay, and lentils are another source of protein. It's a plant-based protein. It does not have as much as a meat source, but it does have protein in it, so it does count. We got some seeds and we got some nuts, okay, that have protein. Things such as the chia seed and things such as your nuts. I've got some fresh pecans here. So one thing to keep in mind is, this is how I look at it. I've said this before and I'll say it again for those that have not seen this before or heard it before. I make protein the leading actor on my plate, and everything else that I consume, okay, are the supporting actors. So I will have an abundance of protein on my plate for the reasons I gave, okay, because it is structural. It's so important for our diet, and also it's satiating as well. It keeps us full, and when we're fuller, we have a tendency, okay, not to keep doing the grab and the goes and, consuming things that we should not be eating throughout the day. And it helps keep us energized so that we can focus, okay, on the other things and not about what are we going to eat next, right? Okay, so keep that in mind. Lean sources of protein and make that the leading actor on your plate. And another thing I want to say about protein before we move on to the next category is that you guys, although these are simple things like the chicken and the turkey, they're very simple, okay? You can make phenomenal recipes from these simple ingredients, okay? First of all, you season your food, okay? If you don't know how to season your food, just start with the basics: salt, pepper, garlic powder, and maybe some paprika, all right? And you can do amazing, amazing, amazing things with these simple ingredients, okay? You can, make turkey burgers. You can make the hamburgers. You can chop it up and you can put it in a salad. You can pair these things with a salad. You can pair it with like a cauli rice or a mashed cauli rice, something like that. Your leafy greens, okay? Once again, do not overcomplicate it when it comes to your meals, and you can get very creative when it comes to these very simple things such as the ground turkey and your ground beef. Up next, we have our fruits and our vegetables, which are important for a diet because they're packed with vitamins and minerals and antioxidants that help with protecting our cells from damage, and also it keeps inflammation at bay. So here I've got a wide array of veggies here. I've got some lettuce. I've got my leafy greens. I've got the collards. I've got the kale. I've got cruciferous. I've got our cabbage here, and some frozen broccoli. I've got some broccoli spears. I've got some mixed veggies, which is my peas and my corn. I've got some frozen peppers and onions. We also have a garden out there as well. So we're gonna have some fresh peppers coming in any moment now. And then of course for my fruits, okay? Get the fresh strawberries and the blueberries if you can, the raspberries. I have some frozen here. I like to keep these available because they are so delicious when I combine them with some Greek yogurt. Also my smoothies. And speaking of smoothies, feel free to put this kale, okay, or the spinach. I've got some spinach in the fridge in your smoothies, you guys. Quick, easy, healthy, and oh so delicious. Once again, just simplify things wherever you can. Be creative with it, and then you are giving your body exactly what it needs, and it tastes so amazing. Next are our complex carbs, which are important for a diet because it gives us sustained energy and helps support brain function, and they do not spike our blood sugar level. Things such as sweet potatoes. Absolutely love sweet potatoes, you guys. You can bake them, you can boil them, you can microwave them, you can air fry them. You know, I have them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, okay? You don't have to eat them exclusively for dinner. You can pair this with the breakfast. I've had these before with my eggs, as well as some turkey sausage. Absolutely phenomenal, filling, sustainable energy, and it is a clean source, okay? Absolutely delicious. The thing about sweet potatoes, a lot of times what happens is people use them in those ultra sweet desserts, okay? And when you think about sweet potatoes, a lot of times that's exactly what you think of. Rework and rethink of the way that you think about certain foods, okay? It's just a matter of how you prepare them, all right? So prepare them the ways that I just mentioned, and you will be good to go. And other things, okay, complex carbs, we've got our nuts here and our grains. I've got some sesame seeds, flax seed. I've got some pumpkin seeds. I've got almonds. I've got the fresh pecans here. Of course, the chia seed. Chia seed pudding is absolutely phenomenal, and you can do so much with the flavor of it. Just make yourself the base, and then you can flavor it with some cinnamon, which is absolutely delicious, vanilla, just different things that you can do with it. And you can also put some of that fresh fruit or frozen fruit on it. Absolutely delicious, you guys. Make it in advance, perfect for meal prepping. And you've seen these before. These check multiple boxes, okay? You saw me present these as a protein, but these are also good as a complex carb as well. You've got your black beans and you have your chickpeas. Absolutely love these in my salads. Up next are our healthy fats. Now, fats actually help with weight management, and I know that sounds like counterintuitive, weight management and consuming fat, but it actually is, because we've got two sources of energy. We've got our carbs, and then we also have our fat sources, just as long as they are the right fats, okay, in the right balance. So these are the things that you can actually consume that are a good source of healthy fat that will help with our weight management, helps with our satiety, it helps with our energy and our brain function. So we've got the chia seeds here. I keep, okay, on a regular, these two types of oils in my house. I've got the avocado oil and I've got the olive oil here. I love black olives in my salads. Absolutely adore these. And then we've got some nut butter here. I've got an almond butter that I've got from Thrive Market. And once again, anything that comes in a jar, in a can, or a bag, that type of thing, check the label, okay, to make sure that it is still in its natural state. This is, all it has is the nuts, you guys. That is it, okay? Matter of fact, you can see a little oil floating on the top. And then I've got some fresh nuts here. I've got some almonds. Avocados is also another healthy source of fat. Yours truly here does not like like avocados, but also consider that as well. I see a lot of people using those for their breakfast, lunch, and dinner, put those in smoothies, okay? And it absolutely phenomenal if you enjoy them. Up next are our beverages. Guys, you got to keep hydrated, because hydration, water, keeps things moving, if you know what I mean, okay? So, especially as we get older, a lot of times our bodies don't realize that we're thirsty until we are, dehydrated. So drink water on a regular basis. If you don't like the taste of water because it does not have any taste, then consider using one of these little flavor packs that are sugar-free. Recently, I have been really getting into these little flavor packs. I love the taste of them. I like the fact that they don't have any extra stuff in them. And they've got things that are good for my body. Ashwagandha, magnesium, vitamin D, as examples. Again, love this. Comes in a little pack like this, tear it, put it in the water, shake it up, and I am good to go. Other things that I drink throughout the day, I am a coffee drinker. I love coffee. Don't judge. I think the verdict is out when it comes to whether or not coffee is beneficial or not. But right now, you guys, I am still, in the coffee drinking season of life. And I don't know if that is ever going to change, which is one of the reasons why I also counter my coffee, which is basically 2 cups a day. I counter my coffee drinking because of the caffeine and dilute it with, drinking water throughout the day. But having said that, the reason why I bring up the coffee, one of the reasons is the fact that I have to be mindful of what I put in it. I don't use any sugar, which fortunately for me, sugar is really not an issue in my diet. Is sometimes the carbs, the potato chips, total transparency. But I don't put sugar in my coffee. But one of the things that I used to put in my coffee was the cream, which is high in calories. And in order to, steer clear of some of the calories throughout the day by having like 1 or 2 cups of coffee, that can bring me up to about 20 grams of fat in just 2 cups of coffee. Can't do that. So I switched to these nut pods. Absolutely love these. It's a combination of the almond milk as well as the coconut milk. Okay, good as far as calories are concerned. And I've got the flavored ones. I've got the plain, and I've got the cinnamon swirl, and I've got the hazelnut. Once again, absolutely love these. I get these from Thrive Market, and I also get these from Amazon as well. And then the other things that I started drinking throughout the day is my tea. I've got the green tea, and I've also got some lemon ginger tea. I will have a cup of this, once again, trying to cut back on some of the coffee. And I will have, a cup of tea. Really relaxes me. I love the taste of it. And it's also healthy because they are packed with antioxidants, which is good for us on a cellular level. All right, guys, and there you have it. What I eat and what I drink to keep me feeling and looking my very best. And I want to say, if you are starting out on this journey as far as modifying your diet, it's going to be a little challenging at the beginning because your taste buds, are accustomed to eating certain things. Your appetite is accustomed to having certain things. You are on like autopilot when it comes to grabbing certain things without really thinking about the nutritional content of them and what they are actually doing to your body. And a lot of them probably are not even benefiting your body. So you're going to have to retrain, your taste bud and your palate, and also retrain, what you gravitate towards. So what I suggest is putting up guardrails. You got to put up guardrails, you guys, and use the things that I've shown you here today as what you can actually eat. And there's a lot of things, Don't feel like you are limiting yourself or punishing yourselves because you are on a diet, that type of thing. No, don't think of it along those terms, Think of it as you are fueling your body, all right, to give it the best as far as energy and nutrients so that you can thrive, now and into the future. Mindset shift is exactly what it is. So once you put up the guardrails, stay within those guardrails, it will become a lot easier. And also, like the first week or two, eat clean, eat healthy, eat the things that I suggested today. And then once your palate becomes used to them, and once your body becomes used to not having the things that you're not supposed to have, you are naturally going to gravitate towards those things. And, also keep in mind too, that on occasion, you are going to have a cheat thing, item, piece of cake, piece of pie, something like that. And obviously those things are outside of the guardrail. So just keep this in mind. If you do deviate outside of the guardrail, you might crash a little bit. But make sure, that you get right back on track and stay within the boundaries that you have set for yourself. And I promise you, you will be successful. Your body is going to feel different. Your body is going to look different. And you will be so energized throughout the day. And these are the foods that you will start to crave. All right, guys. Okay, very good. Thank you all so very much for being here. Please leave in the comments and let me know how you feel about it. Let me know, okay, if you have been on the wrong track and you are, you realize that you have got to be on a different track when it comes to your food. And if you have already started, okay, share with us, okay, what you've learned throughout this process, what has been some of your more difficult challenges. And also let us know, okay, now that you have been on this journey, okay, how long it took for you to stop craving the things that you know are not good for your body. Guys, I want to thank you all so very much for being here. Remember what I always say, it is a great day. You continue to make it your own kind of special. And also remember, if you're also looking for some exercise tips as well, I have got plenty for you. So please join us as well on the exercise floor. I've got walking, I've got weight training, I've got Pilates, I've got Tai Chi, you guys. I've got something for everybody that will supplement and complement our healthy diet journey. And I've got this in front of me as a reminder to me, right? Stay tuned for this phenomenal viral recipe that I came across recently that I will be preparing for you guys. These just harvested from our garden. This is his cabbage, and I am so looking forward to making this recipe and sharing it with you guys, because we're going to get our nutrients, we are going to get our fiber, we are going to get our protein from this recipe. So please do remember to turn on that notification bell so you do not miss out. And on that note, you guys, I'm going to sign off. Continue to make it a great day, and I'll see you all right here real soon.